So I grew up on a 40-cow dairy in northeast Wisconsin, Oconto County to be specific, and kind of have always been involved in agriculture. I went to River Falls and my intention was to become an agriculture attorney. About sophomore year, decided that was not very feasible for me to think about. So decided to go into broad area agriculture and broadcast journalism. So that's what I finished my degrees with at River Falls.
Well, I'm the fifth generation farmer here. It started back in 1900 with my great-great-grandpa. He moved here from Elmira, and we've been farming here ever since. It started out with 30 acres and 5 cows. Now we have 350 and almost 1,800 acres. Being a farm kid is unique because you learn a lot of values, I feel, that other people or other kids your age don't necessarily know. You have a lot of responsibilities that other kids your age don't have. It's a sacrifice. You know, you can't do everything that your friends always do. My favorite memory growing up on the farm was definitely riding along with my dad and grandpa in the tractors.
When you grow up in agriculture, and at least my perspective, every time that I go out to do a story, it feels like I'm talking to one of my family, because my whole family still is in agriculture. So you find patterns with people. You can always kind of pick out the dads and the oldest sons and the moms and that kind of stuff, and it feels very much at home to me.
I'd sit there in the buddy seat and ask question after question. Me and my grandpa and dad became really close because of it. I always worked as fast as I could in school to get my homework done, so that way when I got home from school, I could go out and work on the farm. We rely on technology so much every day. I mean, even the most basic technology is automatic takeoff on the milkers, so when the cow's done milking, it just falls off instead of having to stand by the milker and wait for it to be done. We've really gotten a lot more efficient because of it. We use less fertilizer than we've ever used, less water than we need. It's been great.
You know, people like to knock technology, but in the real world, technology has been agriculture since the first day that we took single cross seed and made it a hybrid. It was for more productivity, it was to better use nutrients. That obviously made a lot more sense to the average consumer 15, 20 years ago. Today, the big challenge is to make sure people still feel comfortable with the technology we use. We don't do such a good job all the time explaining what that technology is or what it is bringing to that consumer. We can scare them a little bit.
I think the public perception is definitely one of our biggest challenges that we face today, because we do take care of our animals to the best of our ability. We wouldn't do anything, we wouldn't feed anything to the world that we wouldn't feed to our own families, and I don't think people understand that really. It's hard because what we know is best for animals and what's best for the crops is somehow perceived by the public as bad things, which we definitely have to step up to the plate as an industry and fix that and get the truth out.
We're pretty big on technology and terminology. We like to talk to each other, but we don't slow it down so we can explain that technology to the consumer that's buying it and is intimidated or only getting information by doing a Google search.
Well, by the year 2050, we're going to have, they say, 9 billion people on this planet. And which is just an unreal number. And if we can't continue to grow food like to the best of our ability, then there's no way we're ever going to be able to feed all that many people.
If we're going to feed 9 billion plus, and I've heard that the plus is getting closer to 10, if we're going to feed those people, technology is an absolute necessity. And it's not about GMOs or antibiotics. It's about irrigation monitors so that we know exactly where every drop of water is going. We're doing that. It's about GPS technology so that a farmer is exactly placing fertilizer right there for that one plant. That's technology. We've got software technology that can monitor where a cow walks and why she's there. How hot is she? How good is she feeling? I mean, we've got all that technology that nobody seems to be talking about or worried about. They just want to focus in on certain areas. Challenges play into what all of agriculture is facing, and that is that you got a big pile of people over here that are hungry and they want food, but they also want to tell you how to grow the food, how to raise the animals, how to manage the environment. A very vocal audience. I am an equal opportunity eater, if you couldn't already tell. So I respect the right a consumer has to want cage-free, natural, organic, antibiotic-free. Put as many labels on it as you want. Somebody will produce that for you. I respect that. Go for it. But there are a whole lot of people in this world that can't afford those particular labels, that are already starving and would just like to have what you probably threw out today. So I see that we're going to have to work towards a real big balancing act when it comes to trying to feed that growing population. You're always going to have the haves and the have-nots, but Wisconsin farmers, U.S. farmers are generally trying to work as a group to make sure everybody has something.